level of depravity in some humans is just astounding. Human monsters exist, and you may be living right next door to one. In last week's episode, I talked about one of those monsters and played a very long 999 call about a man who had murdered his wife and called police to confess it. The call was nearly 20 minutes long, so I only played that one call. Today's episode will be sort of a continuation of that episode, still with the 999 calls, but will be with a few shorter calls that absolutely will evoke all sorts of feelings. It will be one of those roller coaster type episodes with some really shocking audio and details. After reading a couple comments on the Facebook discussion group about how nice sounding the British are, you might change your mind after today's episode. There are horrible criminals everywhere, no matter what country you're in. Just a bit of warning up front, this one will involve children. Welcome back to Music City 911.
Please help me, please.
Where are you?
My son's not here. My boyfriend is not here.
Okay,
Help
take
me,
a breath.
please.
Take a breath, because I can't understand you when you're crying. Where are you?
5 Lower Lansdowne, Freddie the Song.
Lower what, sorry?
Lower Lansdowne, Freddie the Song. Said somebody is not here.
Okay, who's not there?
My son, he's alive. He's not here.
Okay, take a breath. When did you see him last?
I touched him in the bed last night and I've just got up for my son and the other one's not here. Logan!
Okay, take a breath. He's 5 and he's gone. Can you see any of the doors open?
Logan!
I need you to speak to me, not just shout. I know it's really full on and it's really scary. I need you to tell me. What's his name? Is his name Logan?
Logan Williams.
And he's 5. Is he 5, did you say?
He's 5, please.
Okay. Tell me what he looks like, please.
He's a little mixed race boy. He's just got his spidey pajamas on. Wearing shoes.
Okay, is anybody else there with you? Any other adults?
Yeah, my partner. He's looking out.
Right. Are any of the doors or windows open?
What doors, windows, what's open? Someone tell me what.
Take a breath. I know that this is terrifying. So right now I need you to try to breathe so I can get the information I need. Can you see?
My back gate's open.
Okay, back gate. Where does the back gate lead to?
I don't know what the road's called.
That's fine. It leads onto a road as opposed to a field or anything like that, does it? Okay.
I'm running up it now. It's concrete.
Okay. What's your name?
You're going to look at him now.
What's your name? I need to know your name a second.
I'm Herod.
Okay, I'm Herod. I really need you to just take a breath for a second, okay? Because you're starting to hyperventilate. I know that this is very, very scary. I need you to stay in the house. So who's run out after Logan?
My fiance, my partner.
Your partner has. Okay. So Dad's gone out looking, yeah? What's Dad's name?
John Cole. He's stepdad, but virtually dad.
This call, obviously a very emotional one. A mother finds out her son is missing, and she's going to be a wreck. That's a very common thing. The dispatcher was doing what she could to try and calm the caller down, but it was very difficult. The caller was given the info requested. It just wasn't coming very quickly. She was shouting for her child, repeatedly screaming, "Logan." Then I'm assuming after she walked outside, she noticed the back gate left open, as if someone had been through it. She later told the police that he had left the house with no coat or shoes. As a parent, your mind almost immediately goes to a dark place, wondering if something bad has happened to your child. If he or she is lost, scared, and can't find their way home. Or maybe they've went out on their own and had some sort of accident that has them hurt. Or the worst thought, someone has taken your child and is now hurting them, or worse. Logan Mwangi was born on March 15, 2016, in the Princess of Wales Hospital in Bridgeton, Wales. His mother, Ingrid Williamson, was the one you heard on the call, frantically talking with the dispatcher. CCTV camera footage from the area pointing at Logan's house shows his mother, while she was on the phone with dispatch, walking out of the house and through the gate she was talking about on the 911 call. Police got to the house that Logan and his mother lived in with his stepfather, John Cole, and his stepbrother, 13-year-old Craig Mulligan. Officers asked questions regarding Logan's description, normal things you would do when searching for a missing child. His name, age, weight, height, what he was last seen wearing, etc. They also tried to establish a timeline of when he went missing, along with how his mother came to find out that he was missing. Logan's mother said she wasn't sure about a few of those questions. She said that her and everyone else had been sleeping all night. No one had been moving around the house that she knew of. She said she immediately called 999 as soon as she woke and found Logan missing. Within minutes, the search was on and police were scouring the area for Logan, looking for any signs that would lead to finding him. His stepdad and stepbrother were also out looking for him, both seen at one point on CCTV camera, walking along the side of the River Ogmore, shouting his name, hoping to get some sort of response. Police also continued walking the river. 2 officers were close by Pandy Park, just a few hundred feet away from the house, when one of them saw something floating in the river. When they got closer, they noticed it was a small boy. One of the officers dove in the river to pull the boy out. Once out of the water, police determined from his description that it was Logan. He was pronounced dead at the scene. While officers were combing the scene around where Logan's body was found for evidence, other officers remained at the house to take a report from his mother. She hadn't been told that he had been found. Certain things were odd about the circumstances, though. She had said she woke up and immediately saw that Logan was missing and then dialed police. Initial responding officers noticed something that was conflicting with that story. Her washing machine was turned on with a load inside of it. If she immediately called once waking up and seeing her son gone, why would she then put in a load in the wash? Police started questioning neighbors as well. They wanted to see if anyone saw anything at all. They also wanted to view any security camera footage that neighbors might have that could have shown what time Logan had left the house, whether he was alone or if someone was with him. They found a neighbor that had the footage I had mentioned before showing Logan's mom making the call to 999 and his stepdad and stepbrother walking beside police along the riverside shouting his name. They viewed hours of footage, and the camera pointing towards Logan's house saw a light being turned on multiple times during the night in Logan's room, with people creating shadows in the window and through the curtains. At 2:43 a.m., it shows 2 figures walking out of the house, carrying something, and exiting the gate. It was later determined that Logan was being carried out by his stepdad and stepbrother, and less than a minute later, while they were still gone, Logan's mother turned the light on in his room and opened the curtain. Investigations continued after Logan's body was taken to a local hospital to try and determine what his cause of death was. Initially, when he was found, it was thought that Logan may have drowned. When investigators started examining him, they began finding various injuries to him that were not at all consistent with a drowning. External bruising combined with extensive internal injuries, including a lacerated liver, a broken collarbone, numerous brain injuries, and even a degloving of part of his small intestine. The total visible injuries numbered well over 50. Logan's medical history began to be investigated as well. In the months prior to his death, his mother had brought him to a hospital when he was complaining of shoulder pain. She said that he had fallen down some stairs and dislocated his shoulder, and that she popped it back into place and then sent him to bed with a medicine called Calpol, which is a liquid ibuprofen-based medicine made for infants and small children. Over the next few days, police continued their investigation. The injuries sustained to Logan were not all fresh. Some had been there for months. It was determined that he had been continually abused, with his final days being beaten so much that doctors said his injuries were consistent with someone involved in a long fall over 30 feet, or that had been involved in a high-velocity traffic collision. Digging deeper into the security camera footage, it was determined that the two people leaving the house at 2:43 a.m. were Logan's stepdad and stepbrother. They were carrying his body and ended up dumping him in the river, later to be shown returning to the house and leaving again with Logan's pajamas. Later, footage from the same camera, you could hear a loud argument involving Logan's mother and a male in the house. This is around 5 a.m., 40 full minutes before she had dialed 999. Following the information they had obtained from the CCTV cameras, along with inconsistencies with statements given, it was believed that all three of the others in the house had at least something to do with Logan's death. Family and other witnesses were interviewed, and dark scenes were found out. Logan's mother, Ingrid Williamson, had Logan with a man named Benjamin Mwangi, who was of Kenyan heritage. They had met through mutual friends and began their relationship in 2014, and then had Logan in 2016. Ingrid had a dicey past, though, having been arrested for unauthorized use of her mother's credit cards, as well as stealing a vehicle. John Cole, Logan's stepfather, also had a criminal record for various things, including assault, resisting arrest, and burglary. He was also believed to have racist beliefs and was possibly part of a far-right group called the National Front, and didn't like that Logan was biracial, calling him derogatory names like Cocoa Pop. Former friends of John's confirmed he was very racist towards anyone who was different. John was seen to be constantly doing bad things to Logan, making him do push-ups until his arm shook, and would make him stand in the corner for punishment for as long as 30 minutes at a time. And if he ever needed to use the bathroom, the clock would start over. Logan's 13-year-old stepbrother, Craig, who was actually John's stepson from a previous relationship, had only moved into Logan's house 5 days before his murder. He had moved around in the foster care system for a while. While in the care of one family, they reported him saying violent things to other children in the house, such as asking them to play the murder game, where he wanted to put them into plastic trash bags, and that he wanted to kill the 5-year-old, which was the only thing he would call Logan. He was also found to have kept knives under his pillow and abused pets in the family. While it's still unknown as to exactly what happened the night of Logan's death, it's believed that long-term abuse combined with whatever happened that night both contributed. Based on all these things, Logan's mother, stepfather, and stepbrother were all three arrested under suspicion of murder. Police body-worn camera footage captured their arrest.
Okay, so this is John, okay?
Alright, John. Right, you've obviously come to speak to. What I need to tell you now, okay? 1822. I'm arresting you on suspicion of the murder of Logan.
What?
I do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when question something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence, okay? The necessity for my arrest of you today is for prompt and effective investigation, to protect a vulnerable person, and to prevent the loss and secure of any additional evidence we need, okay?
Right. What's Right, John, calm down a second. What we're going to do now, okay? I'll just find out what's the next step.
That was John's arrest, and it's followed up by Logan's mother.
Right, do you want to have a sit down by there a minute, mate? Do you want to have a sit down by here a minute, Hannah? Come on, sit by here now. I'm going to sit down on...
Just a second. We don't agree to do it. Okay.
Do you want to have a sit down by there a minute, right? Don't want you falling down, right? Have a sit down by there, okay?
Listen to what Vicky's going to say.
Okay. Right. You're under arrest on suspicion of murder, okay? So you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which relates to the court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Necessity for the arrest, okay? It's to prevent loss of property, to allow a prompt and effective investigation, and to protect vulnerable persons and children, okay? We get social services, okay?
Don't take my children away!
No? Okay, it's as part of the investigation.
I haven't done anything wrong!
Okay.
Where is Logan? Where is Logan?
He's still with us at the moment. He's still in the hospital with doctors.
What happened to him?
Can't explain anything further at the moment.
Why is nobody talking to me? You're supposed to be helping find out what happened, not arresting me when I'm telling you my son.
Okay.
What is wrong with you guys? You're supposed to be helping me.
Anhad, I understand you're upset. I understand.
Is your son dead? Is your son been found in a river?
Okay, Anhad. We understand you're very upset. We've on investigation.
I'm very upset. I've just lost my son. You've taken my other children away.
After being arrested and taken to the police station for further interviews, the trio continued on with their collective stories of innocence, proclaiming they had nothing at all to do with Logan's death. The most standout of all the performances was from Logan's mother. She initially maintained her same level of sadness and devastation she had in her 999 call, but after stories from each of those arrested started changing and bits of evidence were presented, all their moods changed from what they were to being angry and defensive. The story of the night started unfolding. Ingrid said Logan had a bath and then put on his pajamas. Then he didn't want to go to bed. John then arrived in the room and started shouting at him. When he still refused to get in the bed, John picked him up and slammed him on the bed. He also said he swung at Logan, meaning he hit Logan, but was saying that it was not that hard. He also then said that while Logan was down, his mom picked him up by his shirt and slammed him down again, ripping the shirt in the process. Logan's mom is told all these things, and she goes on the defensive, saying that John's a liar, and the reason that he's lying is he doesn't want to get done for murder. She then goes on to trying to lay the blame away from herself and push it onto John, saying he would stand Logan facing the wall every day and make it so he couldn't even turn around to look at them. But she allowed this to happen and continue to happen daily. Later in the same interview, when asked if she had ever done anything to Logan, she said he would lie to her and she would grab him, shaking him, shouting at him, saying, "Stop fucking telling lies." Craig, the 13-year-old, he was also interviewed by police on 6 different occasions, each time his story changing. Initially, he claimed to have nothing to do with Logan's death. Later, it was found out that he would practice martial arts moves on Logan. The last time, sweeping his legs from under him and using his hands to push his head down to the floor, possibly causing the brain injuries. When he was asked about the security camera footage of him and his dad taking Logan out to the river in the middle of the night, he said his dad woke him up and told him they needed to take some trash to the river. He said he didn't know what was in the bags. He also said they tried to remain as quiet as possible so they wouldn't wake up Logan or Logan's mom. Shifting back around to Logan's mom, one thing that stood out was something that tied in with something I earlier said. When police were looking around in Logan's room, they noticed there were no sheets on the bed. The load of wash in the machine that was running when police arrived initially, when Ingrid claimed she immediately called, that washing machine contained his sheets. Police did testing on the mattress and pillows and found traces of Logan's blood on them. When she was told about this, the truth, or at least parts of it, came out. But even then, she was trying to save herself by shifting guilt to someone else. She said that John hit the boy 3 or 4 times in the stomach, with him saying the only way this boy understands is pain. She also told of Craig joining in with the sweep of Logan off his feet and using his hands to throw Logan's head into the floor. Continuing on with the 13-year-old, during the initial time with police and the first interviews, he did just the same as everyone else, claimed innocence, and was just as you would imagine any 13-year-old would be, a bit timid and quiet. Then, when his involvement in the murder was presented to him, his real self came out. At one point, a detective asked if there was anything he'd like to add, and he says, in a completely different tone, by the way, "Yeah, can you tell my mom to fuck off for me? Because she's blaming me and my dad for everything, and we haven't done anything." All 3 were formally arrested for murder. Their trial lasted over 10 weeks as evidence and witnesses were presented, with all 3 being found guilty and given life sentences in prison, with minimum time served of 29 years for John Cole, 28 years for Ingrid Williamson, and 15 years for Craig Mulligan, for the ongoing mental and physical abuse of Logan, and ultimately his murder. I hope not a single one of them get out of prison ever. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. With so many in-season ingredients, you'll taste all the freshness of fall in every bite of HelloFresh's chef-crafted recipes. Produce travels from the farm to your door for peak ripeness you can taste. HelloFresh does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-portioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. How easy is that? The meal kits I've received from HelloFresh have been super easy to make, start to finish. With my constant on-the-go lifestyle with very little free time, their quick and easy options have made mealtime very easy for me. Go to HelloFresh.com/50MC911 and use code 50MC911 for 50% off plus free shipping. Go to HelloFresh.com/50, that's 50MC911, and use code 50MC911 for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Because this was an extremely brutal incident that I talked about, I didn't want to end the show like this today. I thought I'd at least try to lighten the mood with some other 999 calls, and these show you that people everywhere call the emergency line for things they shouldn't.
Police emergency.
I'm calling because my laptop is closed and I need the Interpol department number.
You've called up the police to get a password for your laptop?
Yes, please.
Right, you do not phone up the police to ask that. We don't deal with laptops and passwords.
Oh no, I didn't use it because I don't know that thing they're talking about. I was using Facebook.
Right, we are the emergency services. We deal with life and death incidents. We don't deal with passwords on laptops.
But
it's nothing to do with the police.
Do you have a number or I can't deal?
No, I don't have a number either. It's emergency life or death line here. We don't deal with laptops, we don't deal with passwords, and we don't have numbers to give out to you.
Well, I'm trying hard to think. I'm pretty sure in my 23 years as a dispatcher, I've never had anyone call me to ask if I could help them with any sort of password reset. So that's a new one for me. I do like the way the dispatcher seems ultra chipper in this, even from the greeting of the call. And I believe she does a good job at explaining that the emergency line isn't for anything to do with laptop support. It's just for life and death situations. So if you're listening to this and are having trouble with the password, just keep in mind, the police are not the ones to help out with that.
Fire brigade? Yeah, I'm calling you from North London. Yeah. Major issue here, the thing is, I've been using the loo, and now don't know what's happening, and it's leaking, and the noises. And I'm staying on the ground floor.
Right.
And the noise is going on, and I'm like, when put it that way, when you use the washing machine and it's going tumbling. I mean,
Right.
it's going on and on like that, and it's leaking. So you don't know what to do. And earlier when I called, you said, call 118, but we tried it, and it's not working yet. And the noise is going on and on.
Right. Yes. Well, this is a fire control room here.
But what do you reckon I should do then?
Call a plumber.
For those of you who had trouble hearing what she was calling about, she went to the bathroom, and from the sounds of it, she may have really put her toilet through its paces. Something happened with it, and now it's leaking and won't stop running. She emphasized that the sound of it won't stop and that she was on the ground floor. And she was calling the fire brigade for this. Here, in extreme circumstances, if there's someone with a pipe that's burst and it's flooding their home, and the fire department isn't too backed up with calls, they might go out only to cut off the water, just to help prevent any further water damage. But that's generally for huge leaks, not just because your toilet is leaking a little bit and won't stop running. That might be different in each city that you call. I'm not sure if her place is flooding or not, but it didn't really sound like it, or she would have let off with that. Again, I think the dispatcher gave the best advice, though. Call a plumber.
Fire brigade?
Hi. I don't know who to call, so I'm calling you, and then you can help me.
Okay.
I have a squirrel. It came through my window in my bedroom, and it's behind my wardrobe, and it's impossible to move. It's a big wardrobe.
Right. So the squirrel's come in your house, and it's gone behind your wardrobe?
Yes.
Okay, and it's trapped behind the wardrobe then? Yeah? Just that you've got a squirrel trapped behind your wardrobe.
A squirrel has come through the window and is now behind the wardrobe. Though the call cut off there, I can imagine her answer. Again, it might be handled differently in your city, but something like this is usually just handled by some sort of a pest removal service. That is, if the squirrel doesn't find its way out of the house on its own. Fire departments do animal rescues, but those rescues are generally for animals that may potentially lose their life or get badly hurt from whatever situation they're in. A squirrel that is run behind a wardrobe can easily run out from behind it. Maybe leave a door open and have a broom at the ready to shoo it out. And speaking of shoes.
Fire brigade.
Excuse me, I was at Tesco, and a friend of mine, well, not a friend of mine, an idiot he threw my shoe on top of the shop of Tesco. I need to get it back down. Can you come in?
No, fire brigade won't do that. You'll have to contact Tesco. They've got access to the roof.
Well, no, it's only a ladder up there, and I've got to get it done.
No, fire brigade won't come out for that.
So what do you want me to do? Walk around with no feet on my shoe?
Yeah, go into Tesco's and ask them to go onto their roof.
While I can't verify with complete certainty, I have a pretty good feeling this guy might have had about 8 too many drinks. He's saying his friend, no, his idiot, threw his shoes on the roof of a Tesco, which, for those not in the UK, Tesco is a supermarket. He wants the fire brigade to come and get his shoes down. Sorry, even we don't do that in Nashville. Your friend, or idiot as you called him, whatever, the one who was playing a joke on you, one or both of you need to do exactly what the dispatcher said and ask the employees or manager of Tesco to let you on the roof to try and recover your shoes. Though if I were the manager there at Tesco, and with this guy and the likely inebriated state that he was in, I wouldn't want them in any sort of scenario where they would enter my store, climb some stairs or a ladder to end up on my roof. I can only imagine someone that drunk would fall at some point and probably try to sue the store. Wait to sober up before you go back and get your shoes. Sorry, mister. Looks like what you said might be right. You might have to walk around all night without feet on your shoes. I've played y'all some pretty loopy calls on the show before, and have tried telling you that people call for any and absolutely everything. I'm sure there's a few of you out there that might question that just a little bit. These are all examples of what I've been saying. Have some crazy ass dream one night, as odd and unlikely as you can believe, and I bet at some point that somebody has called dispatch about something just like it. Thank y'all for listening to this episode. That'll be it for this one. As I said in the intro to the episode, big time roller coaster. Patreon members, if you haven't checked, in the past 2 weeks you've got 2 additional pieces of bonus content. For everyone else, hey, guess what? You have missed 2 additional pieces of bonus content, and more in the past, and more to come. Sign up over at patreon.com/MusicCity911. There's a link in the show notes. If you want to help out the show further, there's a couple ways you can do it. A post on the Facebook discussion group showed one of our members named Karen showing off her Music City 911 Y'all Have a Good 'Un hoodie. Pam asked, how do I get one? Very easy. Just head over to MusicCity911.com, click on the shop button. I have all sorts of good stuff on there. T-shirts, pint glasses, wine tumblers, even blankets and coffee mugs. For you ladies, I've got crop hoodies, flowy tank tops, and leggings too. Well, I guess if you're a guy and you want to wear a pair of leggings, you certainly can. I'm more of a jeans guy myself. Another way you can help out is also on my website. Down towards the bottom of the page, you'll find a button that you can click that helps you buy me a beer. It's simply a one-time donation that you can make in any amount you like. That money will go straight to helping keep my vocal cords as cool and relaxed as possible. Though this time of the year, with it getting a bit colder, I might need to change it around to buy me a bourbon. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening this far past the calls. After listening to those last ones, I felt like I wanted to keep up the silliness just a bit. Until next time, for Music City 911, I'm Brandon, and y'all have a good one.
Hi, my name's Jack Luna, and I host the podcast Dark Topic, where I've been covering some of the world's darkest stories in a unique way since 2016. And I guess there's a lot I could say to woo you to come listen to my podcast, but I'll just say about Dark Topic that some people seem to like it, and maybe you will too. So search for Dark Topic wherever you listen. Thank you.